Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? It's Good Friday here in Australia. So now it's a holiday. So my daughter, who's 16, had to do a Zoom call for school today. And she has gone up to my office to do that call because the little kids are kind of noisy and she doesn't want that as the background noise. So now I'm like, well, how am I going to do my live? And I thought, here's a chance to show you a different view. So I've come down the hill. This is the bottom of our hill and that's our little house up there. Hey, Tammy. So yesterday we were cutting down trees. That's the big pile, which we've piled up for the next time it's dry enough to have a fire. That little building there behind me is just our little shed that we have, all our garden equipment and stuff stored in. So it's just a basic little shed. And then that's the little house that we built. It's kind of a little cottage. Hey, Alison, how's it going? So I don't know how I'm going to do this talk and walk up the hill at the same time, because now you're all going to realise how unfit I am. But I'm going to tell you some of my little Tobago stories as well as showing you around the garden. So this is a mango tree here. Hey, Michelle, how's it going over on your side? What else have we got over here? We got a mulberry tree there behind me. And up here, now everything on this land we have either built ourselves or planted ourselves. Here's an orange tree. We've got two of them and you can see that it's got heaps and heaps of oranges on it. So once they go orange, they're delicious. Last year they were really delicious. We've got way too many weeds, but yesterday one of the ladies, when I was asking you all what you're doing in lockdown, one of you ladies said about how you're in the garden. So I thought, I think I'll get in the garden today too. So here I am, got my gum boots on. It's all a bit muddy down here. Now here in Australia, when you put your gum boots on, you need to shake them out first and give them a good whack. Hey Melinda, how's it going? Give them a good whack because we get so many dangerous spiders and spiders love to hang out in lovely boots. So before you put them on, you got to make sure there's nothing inside the boot that's going to kill you. Over here we have mandarin tree. You see that one's just starting to go orange. So that'll be nice. They're delicious too. It's all a bit muddy down here. Imagine I fall over. Wouldn't that be hilarious? And up here near our chicken house, where I've been throwing, seeds and food scraps for the chickens, a butternut pumpkin bush has come up. Hey chickens! So I want to get in here today and clean it up because all the weeds, you see that? It's a pumpkin growing and I want to clean out the weeds and sort it out. Yeah. So there we go, little tour, and I'm not too puffed, am I? Okay, so when I left off yesterday, I think we had been in Mount Irvine Bay in Tobago for a while, and we spent a few months there. My husband's surfing and fishing every day. Now I'm in the pool house. The pool needs a clean, but that's all right. So we'd been in this Mount Irvine Bay and then we started to head up the coast. Now the next little bay, or one of the next bays up the coast from Mount Irvine Bay, is called Englishmans Bay. And this bay is seriously one of the most spectacular, picturesque, picture-perfect bays I have ever seen. Just like this little horseshoe-shaped bay, palm trees all along the beach, spectacular clear water, and otherwise nothing much there. There was a little rum shack on the beach, but other than that there was nothing there. It was spectacular, and we spent a little time there, but not a great deal of time. We actually got a bit bored, I think. The snorkeling was good, but after that, what are we going to do now? But one thing about sailing is that when most of the time it's easy, you get along great. But when you've got to come into an anchor is when most married couples have their arguments. Now, we were anchored in this bay, and we were the only boat there. We had it all to ourselves. It was just beautiful. And late in the afternoon, we down below reading our book and just chilling out, because you've got to kind of avoid the sun that time of the day. And we heard a boat coming in, but we didn't think anything of it. And next thing we hear screaming and shouting, and like both of us get up and we like looking out the portholes trying to watch what's going on. And it was a French couple, and the wife was up on the front trying to drop the anchor, and the husband was steering the boat in, and they were having the biggest argument you've ever heard. It was hilarious, and we were just we didn't even want to go out. We just hid away downstairs and sort of like this. It was so funny. Anyway, so then we go further up after that place, then we went up to Charlottesville. Now, Charlottesville, we spent quite a few months there, and I've got a postcard of the bay. It's about a mile wide, this bay, and it's just spectacular. And we anchored right over the one side, and we put the anchor out further out, and we got a stern line. So from the back of the boat, we tied to a palm tree in the rainforest. So it was deep enough that we were literally like, 6 meters from the rainforest, and it was spectacular. And at night, the whole forest would light up, like there'd be these little fireflies lighting up the forest at night. It was just beautiful. And we were in this bay, and this little town, there's nothing much in the town. It's kind of like a little fishing village. They had a local library, and the library had internet. So every morning or every couple of days at 9 a.m, I would go to the library and send off some emails to my family. And there's little Geordie up there, look. Hey, you want to wave? Yeah, you'll have to wait till after. Oh, he's found caterpillars.
Yeah, now we're going to keep them.
No, we're not keeping caterpillars. Okay, so on September 11, when that happened in New York City, I was in the library in Charlottesville that day, and the lady had the radio on, and the radio was just playing the usual Caribbean music, and we were all just, reading our books or waiting for our turn on the internet or whatever. And next thing, the broadcast was interrupted with, something about a plane hitting a building. And we were all like gathered around the desk at the front of the library, and the girl from Tobago who was running the library, she's listening, and the yachties are all listening. And then we hear, what, another one hit? Is that what she said? No, can't be. And this is all like trying to make sense of this on the radio. And then, the building collapsed, and it was just like trying to understand what was going on from listening to it on a broadcast. And I think the broadcast was even in, being done out of Trinidad. So, you're trying to even decipher the Trinidad accent, because their accent is pretty strong. Hey, Linda, how's it going in Mexico? So that was it. That was 9/11. So I went back to the boat, and I'm telling Justin about this, and there were other Americans anchored in the bay, and they had, a TV, a satellite or something, and we were trying to get news from them. They were filling us in throughout the day. And the next day I went ashore and bought the newspaper, and there were photos in the newspaper of, the plane hitting the building, and like this was happening while we were like in like the most remote part of the Caribbean, So yeah, we actually never saw that footage from 9/11 until a year later, because, we were sailing around and we went up to St. Martin, and I actually remember a year later we were house sitting for someone in St. Martin who'd gone away, and something came on the news with this, 1-year-old, maybe it was the 1-year-old anniversary or something, and it was on the news in this person's house. And that was the first time that we had seen that footage that everybody else on the planet just about had watched live. It was like, oh my God, that really happened. yeah, so what a amazing time in history to spend in a place like this where you don't have a clue what's going on. Just amazing. And sometimes this new life that we find ourselves in feels a bit like that, doesn't it? What's going on in the world? You see I am seeing footage of, what's going on in New York City now, and just blows your mind. But yeah, here in Australia, our numbers seem to be dropping. We are an island. Australia doesn't have a border with another country. We're just completely surrounded by water. So we have closed the borders. The government, there's no international flights coming in at all. And now they're just trying to contain the numbers of community transfer. And that's happening by they making us all stay at home. So yeah, it does feel so strange. What's happening in Mexico, Linda? Love to hear what's happening down there. I think most of the world seems to be in lockdown and preparing for the worst. But yeah, I don't know. How long is this going to go on for? Anyway, I guess I've got my gardening boots on. I'll take off my pretty tunic now and go and get in the garden and clean up my pumpkin patch. See if I can get more than one pumpkin out of it. All right, guys, have a great day. Tune in. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat tomorrow. Bye.